Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Brownstone. I'm your host, Dr. Michelle, and you are listening to Numbers Don't Lie, where you learn to get out your feelings so you can make the best decisions for yourself, your family, and your business. Guys, we are right in the middle of Women's History Month. Whoop whoop. Shout out to all the ladies making moves out there. And we have a special guest that's definitely making moves. And I don't know if you've heard of her, but if you haven't, let me tell you, you're not going to forget her today. So today we're going to be talking about women making history, building a media empire. This is going to be a phenomenal episode. So if you're interested in entering the media industry, the entertainment industry, you might want to, get your little pen and paper out real quick. Listen, this is going to be good because I don't think you really know who she is. She is actually the owner of this network that you are listening to me on right now. Yes, like she big dog, but I got her to come on down to, chat with me in my apartment. So let me go ahead and welcome the owner of the Brownstone neighborhood, Brownstone Living Magazine, Brownstone Living, Brownstone Worldwide, all the things Brownstone. Welcome, Paulette Clark.
Hey, how are you? I'm so happy to be in your little apartment. It looks so nice down here. Oh, it's nice. This
Thank
is really
you. I
nice.
tried.
Yeah.
I really tried.
Glad to be here, Dr. Michelle. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for saying yes. I mean, you could have been anywhere else, but she said
Oh,
yes.
child, listen. But I got to come and check on my tenants every once in a while, make sure y'all all right.
I paid my rent on time, okay?
Okay. I love it. I love it. I love it.
So, Paulette, can you just tell us a little more about yourself? Maybe something that your Brownstone listeners may not have thought, like, man, that's really cool. I didn't know that about her.
Wow. So let's talk about Brownstone then. First of all, the Brownstone is a representation of a couple of things, and a lot of people are not aware. They think that it's about an apartment building. Well, when I was a little girl growing up, my mother actually had a brownstone, and we lived on the third floor. And on the second floor, my auntie lived, and on the basement floor was where my auntie's oldest daughter lived. And so it was all one big brownstone where everybody lived, and there were these beautiful turning stairs. Like it was an old building, and it's no longer there. But that was part one because I had such amazing memories because the block that I lived on everybody lived in a brownstone, right? And so it was like this huge community of people that knew each other, right? And you knew everybody in that community, and it was a Black community. Now you had some other brown folks, your Latinos, you had your Dominicans, those kinds of things. And so when my family migrated to the north from Louisiana, um, they settled in this one place, and so that's where we kind of stuck. So they tore those buildings down in like the late 90s, I found out. And so I was really kind of sad about it because I had such great memories. But then the other thing was that I realized as I was building the brownstone, and it just wouldn't let me sleep. First of all, let's talk about that. Um, it would just wake me up. Hey, girl, you're not done. Hey, girl. And so Brownstone Worldwide has been around for about 14 years, believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah, we started out in media behind the scenes. We worked with some big dogs, Lifetime Movie Network. We've worked with some of the reality stars that are bigger than life now that you see on Instagram and so forth.
Okay.
Yeah, we've done some stuff with Malik Beasley, helped to create some logos and things for some major corporations, created some commercials. So we've been around, and we've always had KCCR, the Brownstone. So a lot of people don't know this, but I'm from the entertainment industry. Started out there as a vocalist for, and yes, I'm hip hop history. A lot of people don't know that.
All right.
Um,
Listen, we in Women's History Month, so that was perfect.
Boom, yeah. So, and I don't talk about it much, but I'm tooting the horn right now because thinking back on all of the things that I've been through, it led me to continue to build where I currently am now. And so, yeah, I'm a part of hip hop history, legacy, Arrested Development, and shout out to the gang. And I started in radio right after entertainment, and I stayed there for about 20 years, 10, 15 years. Yeah, it's been about 20. And then I saw what was coming down the pipe and I thought, I want in. I
Mm,
never thought I don't want to be here anymore. It was I want in.
I like that.
Because because here's the thing. It seemed to me that there were gatekeepers
Mm-hmm.
in radio, right? And so one of the things that really drove me nuts was being a program director for 3 radio stations. I saw everything. I knew what was going on. I knew how it was being done. I was a part of sales. I saw it all because I was running it from up here. And I was one of the very few in this state where I was living at the time who was African American and female.
You making
Okay.
all types of history, okay?
Yeah, I didn't know. But see, I didn't know at the time. I was just doing my job. But I took the urban station to #1 in the region for 3 years straight. And the country station, which was 100,000 watts at the time, it stayed #1.
Wow.
And so I never, and then I also ran the Hot AC, the top 40 station as well. And so it was a part of a group of stations, and I was watching it being done, and I enjoyed all of it. Oh, it was so much fun. I enjoyed it. And I thought, I want to do this for the rest of my life. And that was really what I was thinking. But so Dr. Michele, I know I'm running my mouth too much, but I got to tell this just briefly.
Go
It
ahead.
started years ago when I was a little girl. So my parents had the basement was full of old magazines that had been put in encyclopedia type format, right? And it was like something that they sold all the time. The first magazine was a small magazine called the Negro Digest from the 50s.
Wow.
The second group of encyclopedia type magazines was Ebony magazine. A lot of people don't know Ebony was first called the Negro Digest. And so when I was a little girl, I would sit in my parents' basement and I would pore over these magazines day after day after day. And I would look at photos of Emmett Till being buried and at his funeral. And I would look at uh, the photos of black lifestyle in Ebony, because that's why Ebony magazine was started by Mr. Johnson
Mm-hmm.
in his family, because they wanted to be represented just like everybody else in Life magazine. See, a lot of people don't know that. And so I would read these magazines over and over and over again. They would have to call me out of the basement to come and eat dinner.
Oh,
And
wow.
so when I turned about 15, 16 years old, I got a $5 a week allowance. And rather than go shopping with all of my friends, I would run and buy an Essence magazine. And
Wow.
I would rush home with my little Burger King burger, they had the junior burger at the time. I would rush home with I would get off the bus with my little 25 cent, 30 cent, whatever it was at the time. And I would go home and I would go in the bathroom. This is a true story. I would go in my mother's bathroom because she had carpet and stuff all on the floor. And I would read the commercial advertisings out loud
Wow.
by myself. And one day I saw an ad for Stouffer's macaroni and cheese. This is what did it. And I read it out loud and I looked at the picture and it was so amazing. It was a picture of a Black family enjoying Stouffer's mac and cheese. And it was the husband, it was the wife, and it was the 2 kids. And there was this beautiful picturesque window. It was a landscape window and you could see outside, and there was greenery and blue sky. And I said, however they did that, I want in.
Wow.
And I have always wanted to be a part of media, because if I could feel whatever was being emanated from that page, I wanted to help people feel that same way. And so over the years, that's how Brownstone Worldwide came to be. It started out as the Brownstone Center, and I had partners and all the stuff, and things happened, and life moved on, and I kept moving. And so here we are. We now have 3 entities, actually 4. BrownstoneWorldwide.com, the Black NPR, as it is affectionately known by some folks. We also have KCCR, the Brownstone, which has been around, again, like I said, for about 13, 14 years, and that's the radio station and the app. And we officially have Brownstone Living Magazine. So I'm excited about that. And of course, we also have our merch site, which is Brownstone Marketplace, but it's all encompassing of everything that you remember about being a Black or brown individual. And our job as people here, a part of Brownstone Worldwide is to help to change the narrative of how we tell our stories ourselves, right? Because what we have to remember is that when we are allowing other people to tell our stories, number one, they ain't gonna get it right. They're not
That
gonna get it
part.
right. Okay. Number two, they're going to tell the narrative of what they believe
Uh-huh.
is right about us. How dare they? And how
Right.
dare I, knowing what I know about us as a people, not step up and do something about it? And
Wow.
so that's really how we got to where we are with the brownstone. And I woke up one morning and I realized that the brownstone is more than just a name.
Mm-hmm.
We are the stones that are black and brown, that are resilient, that stand the test of time over and over again. So we truly are Brownstone Worldwide.
Oh, I love that. Well, thank child. I didn't expect all that, but I'm glad you said it. You reminded us that like you are truly making history. I mean, I've learned something new, so thank you.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
But you
Cool.
said a couple of things when you were working at the radio stations
Mhm.
and you saw all the pieces of the details and what
Yeah.
it took to run it, and you said I
Mhm.
want to do that. And all
Yeah.
I heard, being a data scientist, all I heard
Mhm.
was I picked up all this information along the way and I stored it, and I knew like I could, it's like you could forecast
Yes.
where you wanted to be, where you could be,
Mhm.
where you knew you could be. Like I
Yeah.
see it, the trend is changing. Let me
Mm.
hop on it because I have everything stored in here.
I did.
You have more than enough. And so even the piece of information from childhood, it fit all together. It makes
Mhm.
sense of
Yeah.
being able to look at Black people in magazines portrayed how we wanted to portray it. And
That
you're
part.
doing that now. I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't
Yes.
know. You're just cute little kid just
Yeah.
reading a magazine. And now you have your
Mhm.
own magazine where you allow people like me and others,
Mhm.
other contributors to tell our stories, to get great content out.
Yes.
I just love it.
Well, I'm glad I was able to tell that story. And I think more about look at you, Dr. Michelle, you are a mess. I love to tell the story because it helps me to remain grounded to
Mm,
why I'm doing it. Because sometimes we can get so above where the true purpose is. We need to be heard. At
mhm.
the end of the day, we need a platform that is for us by us. And yeah, I said it just like that. You know what
Come
I
on,
mean?
Fubu.
Yes, come on, Fubu. We need that does not mean that we're extricating other people from other
Right.
communities. That's not what we're doing because I grew up with a rich heritage of other folks. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Growing up in Wisconsin the way that I did. And so that's not even the issue. The issue is we want to take the permission away from people. Please give us somewhere to tell our story. Please, somebody say
Right.
yes. I'm so over that. I could spit nails at this point. And I say that because growing up, one of the things that my dad was notorious and is notorious for is continuing to tell my family story. He felt
Mhm.
it was so important. And so we call him the griot because that's what griot means, is storyteller. And so he always told the story of how we got here, and how we ended up in one place and then we ended up someplace else. And my dad was so serious about telling the story of who we are. It is constantly repeated in our family at family reunions and all this other stuff. And then he went and above and beyond and introduced me to my mama's people. He didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
And so when you learn your story, critical race theory is not even an issue. Who
Mhm.
cares? Tell the story.
Mhm.
Period. We have them and we are allowing so many people to leave this physical plane with that information, with the
Yeah.
data that can allow us to be better. And we are creating an entire group of people who don't know who they are or where
Mhm.
they come from or why things are the way that they are.
Yeah.
And again, that's the reason why Brownstone Worldwide was created, because I wanted to make sure that we continue to control that narrative. Nobody should decide for us how we tell our stories. Here's the beauty of it. And I'm going to talk about you really quick, Dr. Michelle.
Oh.
Listen, you a young Black woman professional. You're a data scientist. You got a whole PhD. We don't talk about that enough.
Mm.
We're not telling your stories. We're not telling Leanne's stories. There are people out there like Marshawn. These are people that are a part of the Brownstone family, our community.
Yeah.
And we need to tell these stories that are warm and heartwarming and beautiful and teaches the struggle of who we are as a people and how we continue to rise to the occasion and be our best selves every day. And so if I can continue to be a part of that and raise the awareness of our Black and brown excellence, then I will continue to do that. It is my responsibility. It is your responsibility. It is everybody's responsibility who is connected to us as the Brownstone to continue to build community, even in these virtual spaces
Yes.
that we hold. And that's another thing. So I'm going to be quiet now. This is your show.
Well, it's right on time because I have to remind the people of who they're listening to and what they're listening to. You guys, you are listening to the Paulette Clark. Like, she's that big of a deal. You have to put the in front of her name because if you don't know,
Okay.
now you know. This is the Paulette Clark, owner of the Brownstone Worldwide, owner of all things Brownstone, Brownstone Living, Brownstone Worldwide.com, the Brownstone Marketplace. Y'all, I didn't even know she had a marketplace. Y'all, it's some amazing finds over there. And, we'll have to come back to some stories about the Brownstone Marketplace. Just go to the website, brownstoneworldwide.com. Go check it out. Go check out the stories, the articles, the blogs, what Brownstone TV, what you're listening to this on, or maybe you listen to KCCR to Brownstone, the app or the radio station. But if you listen to radio, I need you to find yourself on brownstoneworldwide.com and just
that part.
Take a little gander across the website. Are you a business owner that have been putting in the work, exhausting yourself, running to and fro, but your bank account does not match your energy? Listen, we've all been there, but there is a way for you to get to the next level, for you to get to the money faster. And it's going to be using something that's been right under your nose the whole time. It's a secret weapon that large business owners have been leveraging for years to continue to dominate in their market. It is your turn. It's your turn to shine. It's your turn to hit your goals. Reclaim your time. So what I want you to do is click the link to register for this free 3-day challenge to help you find the hidden money that's in your business. It's there, and I know it's there. How do I know? Because I've helped other business owners use this power to get to the next level as well. So register at hiddenmoneychallenge.com. That's hiddenmoneychallenge.com. Oh yeah, I'm Dr. Michele, and people call me the Data Doc. Go ahead and lock your space in, and I'll see you soon.
Keeping it locked to KCCR Radio,
my station,
the Brownstone Center, and don't forget, no matter where you go, there we are.
So, Paulette, what has been the most rewarding part of your journey to get to where you are today?
The self-discovery. Finding out, listen closely to this, and I think this is for most people who are entrepreneurs, finding out that you think that you are building your business, you are building yourself. And along the way, as I have continued to build out Brownstone Worldwide, understanding that everything that I need is right here within me, and understanding that God is going to always provide the next provision, because if he gave you the vision, guess what he's going to do? He's going to provide you with provision. And according to what I heard you say, Dr. Michele, we talked about the data. The data don't lie when it comes to God. It's always the same, right? And so one of the things that I've had to do as a business owner, when things look like I cannot move forward for whatever reason, is it not enough manna? All right, now I gave you enough manna. Now you've been good out here in the wilderness. Now let's go ahead and move you a little bit further. And so I think discovering myself has been the biggest thing, and trusting God in this process of the vision that he has given me has been huge, because I woke up one morning and I realized that was the day I realized I was the Brownstone. And then I messed around and I had a photo shoot done. Shout out to Rakaya Hines. of Shop by Rakaya, and she took these beautiful photos. And there's a photo of me sitting in a chair. And for the very first time, I met the owner and founder of Brownstone Worldwide. That's the kind of journey that I'm on. And staying connected with beautiful people who see the vision and understand that community is important, especially as the internet diaspora continues to divide us. We have to remain concise with where we are, and there has to be a central point for all of us to commune to.
Yeah.
Just like at your big mama's house, right? You know, you knew everybody in the community. You knew the cornerstone man. That's what we call it. You knew that at 9 o'clock in the morning after the news went on, don't mess with Big Mama, because she was watching her what? Her stories. Which is coming to the Brownstone, and it is called The Stories.
Ooh.
Yes. So yeah. So it's so much to it, but it's really about building community and allowing people to say the one thing, and that's welcome home. You're home. And that's really what it is, because this is where you're safe. This is where we protect you. This is where we look out for you. This is where you're edified. This is where you learn and you grow. And those are the kinds of things that we're working on to come to the Brownstone in the future. So
I love it. Welcome home, y'all.
yes, welcome home to the Brownstone. Yes. Come
Okay.
satisfied. Go ahead, Dr.
This
Michele.
next one,
Yes.
you know, taking people a little deeper.
Oh. Woo.
Because y'all heard Paulette has been in the entertainment industry and the media industry for quite some time. So she's not new to this. She's true to this. And that's why I was like, she is the Paulette. So what are the off-script things, or that those maybe those pieces of information that people just tend to forget, ignore, don't think is important when they enter the entertainment industry?
Get out your feelings. That's number one. Yeah.
Tagline, right?
Yes, that is your official tagline as far as I'm concerned. Get out your feelings, because this is a business. I learned that the hard way. As a young woman in the entertainment industry, I started singing full time when I was 19, and I was a new mother, and I signed contracts without legal representation. I was doing all kind of dumb stuff, right? And it showed, because I lost money. I lost millions. Ideas and concepts that you still see now today came from this brain.
Wow.
And you have to treat it out as a business. Everybody, even though y'all friends, y'all not friends when it comes to business.
Okay.
You're not. So let's get that corrected. And the entertainment industry is a business first. Period. And that is where a lot of us as music professionals back in the day made our mistakes, is no one taught us the business of the music business or entertainment. Because even as an air personality, you're 1099 in most cases. You're not paid directly, right? So what we would do is we had you as a 1099, and you signed a contract annually to work with that station, right? And so there were NDAs that you had to sign, all kinds of stuff, non-disclosure agreements, everything, right? And then we would put you on the air. But people don't treat it as a business. They get excited of all the shiny things that they think it embodies. You would be surprised as more people start finding out about the Brownstone, how much my phone blows up. I got 3 phones on purpose. One is just in case you want to inbox me. I'm so serious. Yeah. Because now y'all want to be down.
Ooh.
You want to be excited now, but this is still a business. And I need people to understand that for sure. Yeah.
That's good. Listen, she said, get out your feelings. Read your contract, because numbers don't lie. It's so unfortunate how many stories you still hear today about artists not getting paid, or I didn't know, or they got an advance and didn't realize they had to spend all this time paying it back. I'm like, y'all, we have 2 eyes. Most of us have at least a high school diploma.
But see, here's the thing.
Our intellects a little bit.
Right. But remember this, you're hungry. You're Black. You didn't come up with a silver spoon in your mouth, and you saw everybody else come up and become millionaires, not knowing that their entire project was recoupable to the label, to everybody else that you helped, to everybody that you hired, to the food that you ate on that music shoot, that music video shoot, right? And so at the end of the day, when they take back all their money, you might walk away with a cool 10 grand. And by the time you pay your manager a percentage of that, you walk away with 7. Ask me how I know, because those are my numbers.
Wow.
Those were my numbers. After I finished paying everybody else, I was still being evicted from my apartment in Buckhead, Atlanta.
Wow.
Because it wasn't enough.
Mm-hmm.
So stay on top of your game, and there's still some things that I still didn't know that I just found out about my digital recordings and things of that nature, and how much money I probably am still owed to this day.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So just handle your business.
So I'm glad you mentioned that. So you let us know that, when people go into the music industry, and I hear that like a lot of people that come up, like they see it as their come up. Very much the same. I think the entertainment industry is like that, whether it's sports, acting, whatever. It's a come up for a lot of people. So there's a trade-off. What is that? I don't know if I'm asking the question right, as far as a trade-off between that hunger and just getting in the game versus once you realize all that's happened to you. Like, what is that comparison? Was it worth it when you go back and look at it?
Yes. It was worth it. Let me tell you why. So my son, he's 15, only knows his mother. And so I took him to a video shoot. It was a documentary shooting. And I introduced him to my friends from Arrested Development. And he started asking a lot of questions. He has no idea. He was like, "Mother, who are you?" And so this gave him an opportunity to find out who his mom was. And he was not interested at all. That's first and foremost. It was hilarious. But when we got back in the car after all of that, I'm setting up the story here. We got back in the car. And he said, "Mother, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that?" And I said, if I had, I would have lost everything anyway, because I was not ready. And I said, it wouldn't have mattered anyway, because we would still be here. And along the way, what we have to understand is you are where you are supposed to be at every moment of your life. Nothing is ever by accident. And I would not change what happened, how it happened, because what it has taught me is that life is fleeting, and we don't have all day to get it right. Right? And one thing we're never going to do is get it right. You can't get it right and you can't get it wrong. That's the one thing that I've learned. And so in the lesson of being a part of that group and a part of entertainment and radio and being an air personality and all of that, I learned more about me, and I became the person that I am because of it. Had I not gone through that and I'd have got all in the millions all right at once, we wouldn't be having this. There would be no Brownstone Worldwide.
Wow.
Period.
Wow.
I'm serious.
I believe you. I believe it. Because, sometimes I just sit back and I would just think about it. Like certain people that go through different life experiences. And that's a question I wish I could ask them people, like, was it worth it? And I think most people will say yes. But just to be able to hear you say it all out and put it all together, I really appreciate it.
Yeah. We have to stop. And I'm talking to me. Y'all just happen to be listening. We have to stop complaining about where we are and always ask ourselves, pay attention to the data. What am I supposed to learn here in this experience?
That's good.
So that you can pass the class. And a lot of times what we're not doing is we're not doing the homework. We're not passing the class. And then you end up repeating it with a different teacher. And then you mad at who?
That's good.
Can't be mad at nobody but yourself because you didn't do the homework.
That is good. That is a beautiful lesson for everyone out there to learn. And that was a perfect way to just close us out, because y'all don't keep repeating the same grade.
Come on.
You smarter than that?
Ma'am, on that, I got to do this. Listen, don't repeat it.
Come on up, y'all. Come on up a little higher.
Yes, time to pass. Time to graduate.
Well, let me thank the Paulette Clark again for visiting my loft here in the Brownstone. It's been an absolute pleasure to hear more about you, your experiences, your journey in the media and entertainment industry. So before you go, can you tell the people how they can find you?
Yeah, sure. Two ways. Number one, you can find me, of course, on brownstoneworldwide.com. Okay. And you can also find me by just sending me a direct email at Paulette@brownstoneworldwide.com. That's how you can hit me up. There you go.
That's nice. All things Brownstone Worldwide, y'all. Okay.
Yes.
If you didn't hear it, just Google Brownstone Worldwide, and I
And it'll
promise
come
you,
up.
we're gonna come on up. Okay.
Yeah.
We are reachable. I've been your host, Dr. Michelle, and you've been listening to Numbers Don't Lie, where you learn to get out your feelings. We heard that
Yes.
today. Get out your
Mhm.
feelings so you can make the best decisions for yourself, your family, and your business. Well, y'all, that is today's show. Thank you again for tuning in. Please make sure you follow us on Brownstone Worldwide on Facebook and brownstoneworldwide.com. Go check out some articles, all that jazz. And anything else you want to say to the people, Paulette?
Join us. We'll be happy to have you. Come set a spell, have a slice of pie, and a cup of tea, and welcome home.
Welcome home and have a great week, y'all.